All right, everyone, here we are with another video with Invest for Tomorrow, and we're going to talk about ticker symbol OCGN, Ocugen Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, and to all the subscribers, welcome back. So I changed this to percentage real quick. We're about to jump into a lot of different things, but it's sitting right now 500% plus, which is basically about 5 times the total amount of where it was at before, or slightly above it, and it almost hit 1,000% above, which is 10 times where it started before the run at 30 cents, reaching $3 and cooling off. So this last week was a little bit of a shorter week, and there's a lot of uncertainty going into the next week that we're about to see overall. Stimulus talks, the market overall, we need to see how it reacts. We need to see how the S&P 500 index reacts leading into the pump dates and after that. And then we also have a short week again with New Year's, and then we need to see how the year starts. So a lot of what happened here is profit taking and the uncertainty, right? Moving into the next week and the beginning of next year and what's going to go on moving forward. But I wanted to do some research on why this ran up and kind of explain to you guys based off of what's going on in the chart, what to look for. And then also to any investor that missed this and didn't get a chance to get in on this or is in this and trying to see this for the long haul, I'm here to confirm some things. And to those of you that missed it, I'm here to tell you guys, you definitely want to put this one on your radar. So I have 2 snippets here of some sections here of the whole entire article that were pretty interesting to me. So it says, so what else do investors need to know? Well, this is a company, right? Bharat Biotech in India, and they have 16 vaccine in its portfolio, and they have in mind to go ahead and develop the COVID-19 candidate Covaxin. Now, this company is working with Ocugen, so it has a lot to do with Ocugen. Is signing a deal regarding Covaxin, and then Ocugen will help develop and commercialize the vaccine in the US. So it's coming from a biotech company in India, and Ocugen is trying to participate with biotech to bring it to the US, and that is why Ocugen's on the move. So Ocugen didn't create it. They're coming to work a deal with who created it. Now, the most important thing is that they're doing this through a traditional vaccine approach, which takes longer, right? We're trying to get vaccines out there as fast as possible, and other companies have found a new technology that can be something great in the long term. I mean, this is the first time we're using it, where they have some proteins that are in the basically the cocktail of making these vaccines, and it doesn't really use an inactive form of the virus. If not, they do something with a response to the mRNAs, and like they're putting something in there that would trigger the same effect as if the coronavirus. So it's not like the coronavirus in active form coming straight. It's more like genetically material made, and everything's kind of a genetic material made, and it's how can you say it, artificial in a way. But when it comes to the inactive virus, it's the traditional way that vaccines have always been made. So this means that when the inactive form of the novel coronavirus is supplemented, right, something that is known to enhance immune response, it's what people are more accustomed to. Now, this takes longer for a vaccine like this to finally work and be created, but the fact that one of them is out there that is done in the process and created in the process that we know previously from all other vaccines, there's a lot of room here for Ocugen if they seal the deal and this biotech company has really created a, how can I say this, because these are very delicate words, a vaccine that proves to work effectively And I think one of the things that a lot of people, or overall, you know, the communities and even investors are going to like the fact that this is being done through a traditional approach, right? The way we know vaccines have been made. And all these other vaccines, nothing wrong with them. That's amazing that there is new technology being innovative with that stuff, but it's too new for investors and people to feel comfortable with yet. Maybe there's more to know about, or maybe we already nailed it and we don't notice it. But right now, something that's really standing out to me here, and I want to see everybody else's way of thinking, and any investor that's probably long on this, or they took a shot at this when it was running up, or whatever it is coming across this video, if that makes some sense to you, what I'm trying to say, that the fact that this biotech company, obviously Ocugen, is on the way to help commercialize the vaccine in the US, but the fact that this biotech company is creating Covaxin, right? Covaxin, in a traditional vaccine approach, it stands out to me to say, like, there's potential here and this is going to go somewhere, because the reason why we weren't going through a traditional vaccine approach is because we're trying to do the warp speed, right? Do things as fast as possible, get things rolling to start getting herd immunity and so forth. But the fact that this went through that, transitional phase, and they're able to use an inactive form of the novel coronavirus, I think there's potential here for this vaccine to go to new levels, right? So here it says why the Covaxin matters, right, for Ocugen. Well, the leading vaccines like Pfizer and Moderna have already been rolling out doses. Why should Borat Biotech and Ocugen captivate investors here? This is what's the most important thing. Broadly, the answer is the fact that COVID-19 situation continues to worsen. A new strain that experts say is 70% more infectious is plaguing the United Kingdom, and in the United States, cases, hospitalizations, and deaths continue to rise, unfortunately. And we shall get past this, but this is hope here, right? What Ocugen is trying to do and what Pfizer and Moderna have been doing on their efforts. They've done things extremely fast, and this is what I've noticed, that Pfizer and Moderna, their vaccine with the mRNA, which I'm going to get into in just a moment, I've noticed that is making them less candidate if Covaxin is legitimate, because that's the other thing we need to see. But let's jump into this. This means that the investors are still hungry for anything that can help, and another vaccine offering is quite appealing. That's why the run happened, right? Additionally, Ocugen says that Covaxin vaccine does stand out from others, and this is what stands out to me too. I find it very interesting. I mean, once I read this, it made a lot of sense. On the market, this is according to the company because Covaxin, if this is all true, targets multiple virus protein antigens. In other words, Covaxin could help protect individuals against the evolving COVID-19. I think that is the most powerful words in the whole entire article and the whole entire point of this, of what Ocugen is on to, right? Ocugen is on to partnering up with a biotech company in India. Their Covaxin is done traditionally. That stood out right away. They're using an inactive form of the coronavirus, which is how we know vaccines have always been done. And it targets multiple virus protein antigens. That means that as the coronavirus, like we're already seeing, is mutating, there's an opportunity for Covaxin to better, quote unquote, better protect individuals against the evolving COVID-19, because it's done the traditional way. Something I've noticed about Pfizer and Moderna, which they're doing a tremendous job with innovation, which is the whole issue, which I don't want to go too much into because I don't know exactly. I'm not a scientist. What is the process? But they do something with mRNA, and it's basically like they go ahead and create this artificial way to make the body respond to it, even though there's no coronavirus being, inactive or active or genetically fakely made, whatever it is they do. It's just something that is all a tremendous innovation. But I think that the downfall in these two vaccines is that they focus on one strain, or the strain that we know, or some strains, but not all, right? And there's something there that's not really having the true potential that the traditional vaccines that we know of have, and especially just knowing that it's the inactive form going into the body. That's how we know for many, many years now how vaccines roll out. And the fact that Covaxin targets multiple virus protein antigens, which mRNA and, PFE, which is Pfizer and Moderna, they actually go ahead and have multiple virus protein antigens that they're targeting. But I don't think that just that mRNA, process that they have without putting an inactive form of the virus into that whole entire cocktail is allowing for, how can I say it, vaccination to help in the longer term, and not just one strain or just a few strains, but like many other strains when it comes to evolving, right? The COVID-19 is going to continue to evolve. So yes, we will probably go into a phase where there's new, like the flu, there's new strains every year, and we need to do a new shot every year, right? That's how vaccines have always worked, and so forth. But the Covaxin, for the most part, what stands out to me the most is they say it flat out right. It targets multiple virus protein antigens. If this is correct, it can help better protect individuals from evolving COVID-19, and that they're doing this the traditional route, not the new route, not the innovation, which is phenomenal, right? That innovation is spectacular. It's a big deal. That is a really big deal. But right now, the world and individuals and investors are more, and just the way the human mind works, is more comfortable with something they already know than something that they don't know much about. And traditional cocktails have inactive forms of the virus in them, which instills a better, quote unquote, better vaccination process, to the point where it does protect individuals against evolving COVID-19 and targets multiple virus proteins, according to what they're saying. So it's like Ocugen is on to something here, but nothing's official yet, and they need to get FDA approval. There's a lot of things going on, but there's something here that stood out the most. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor. I'm just going based off of the research that I've done. The Pfizer and Moderna vaccine, I know that they do something with mRNA, and like basically it can almost, they can make with that mRNA like vaccines for almost anything, which is great, but we just don't know the effectiveness yet. I mean, it's so new, and it's an innovation that is tremendous moving forward. But right now, people, what they know is the traditional route. The traditional route would take longer. We have this biotech company that already created Covaxin. We need to see how great it is. We need to see if there's FDA approval. We need to see if Ocugen is really onto something here. And if all these things are true, Covaxin has a potential to take up market share. I don't even know how much, because, like I said, people are comfortable with what they know. But this stood out the most to me, and this is one thing that I'll let you guys read for itself on how Ocugen right now is reacting. Right there. This bottom part right now, you want to go ahead and keep Ocugen in your watch list. This was a fast run. We need to see what's going on. So let's go ahead and draw out our resistance. We're going to draw our support, and then we're going to go ahead and talk over this. Again, I am not a scientist. I am not a doctor, and I am not a financial advisor. But here we are to talk about different ticker symbols and all these points of reference that are very important based off of the chart. But just with my simple knowledge of just using common sense, and I would love for every single investor to agree with me or disagree with me or put their point of reference of view, right? You have your own way of referencing the things and perspective, and I would love for it to be shared. But the fact that Ocugen is onto something here, I think the most powerful words is traditional, inactive form of coronavirus, traditional way of vaccines being made. I know I kind of said that all rambled up there, but all those words, if you just put them in one sentence, that Ocugen is working on getting and commercializing in the US a company that has made a vaccine the traditional route that we know of, which is how vaccine has always been made. Instead of using the mRNA technology, they're using an inactive form of the novel coronavirus to go ahead and put it in the cocktail, which then protects people from even evolving and different protein antigens that the coronavirus may have or form and develop. I think that right there is interesting, and that's what we know of vaccines. So I would love, and I honestly want every single investor's input down below. There's a lot of steps here still for Ocugen, so that's why we want to watch this closely. So let's see here. So if support gets broken through, your next support level is down here at 103. I'd write that down, and I'm just going to give you guys all the points of reference to keep in mind in the next coming weeks and months. 103. The next point, if 103 gets broken through, is down here at 66 cents. And if that gets broken through, I mean, we're just seeing this probably head closer to 30 cents, 40 cents, or 50 cents. So we need to watch this very carefully. I think the most important point that this should not break through is this point right here, 103. This stock should stay above $1 if things are looking pretty bright in the near future. So we want to keep that in mind. Now, just because it breaks through 103 doesn't mean that it can't turn back around, but staying above $1 is a good sign. Now, the 50-day moving average is above it, and that's at 209. I want every single investor to write that down. That needs to be broken through. That is the true point that the bulls want to break through. If they accomplish that, their next reference is 246. And once 246 is broken through, the highest point reached was up here at 305. That needs to be broken through in the near future, according to the volatility in the upward direction. Now, before this gets anywhere higher or anywhere lower, let's look at our support and our resistance. So our support right now is 162. If that gets broken through, we need to watch this very carefully, how it's reacting between 162 and 103. How quickly is it moving downwards, or are the bulls trying to reappear and bring this back up? We're already in bearish territory, and breaking through that support is just getting deeper and deeper into bearish territory. So our resistance is 196. If 196 gets broken through, that does not mean that the bulls are guaranteed to get back into bullish territory, but this is a beginning step to start to work its way up to newer highs, new resistance levels, and work its way up to those resistance levels that I talked about and get deeper into bullish territory. So this is the first step. This is an indicator for us investors to know where the stock is going, and the bulls can turn that into a support to form the catalyst to start to work their way up to newer highs and new resistance levels. So 196 definitely needs to be broken through and turn into a support, but it does not guarantee the bulls to get back over the 50-day moving average into bullish territory. If you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that we post. And don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Share this with your friends and community, and let's make some money.